For the fourth and final video for Unit 2, Lesson 1, we are going to deal with the topic of AR verb conjugation. Now, this one gets a little more in-depth, and it is page 96 of your textbook, by the way. This is probably the second most important thing you'll ever learn in Spanish, is how to conjugate a verb. So we're going to go a little more in-depth here, and we're going to talk about first what you need to know. Before you do this, you need to know basically two things. Okay? First, what you need to know is you need to know the subject pronoun chart. This is a chart we did fairly early on, and it becomes very important because it has a lot to do with conjugating verbs. So the subject pronoun chart is yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros or nosotras, vosotros or vosotras, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Okay? Good thing about these subject pronouns, as we've spoken before, these 10 words can take the place of any subject you could possibly ever use. The second, that is human, by the way. The second thing you need to be able to do is you need to be able to convert subjects into subject pronouns. You need to be able to tell me basically where any possible subject would fit on this T-chart. Okay, and we'll get into why that's important here in just a moment. So, let's scroll down and start talking about the actual how to conjugate. By the way, we will start the code for this video. The first number in the code is a 6. Now, here's where we start. So far, we have worked with all irregular verbs. What that means by being an irregular verb is that basically you have had to memorize all 6 forms of the verb. So far we've done ser, we've done tener, we've done parts of estar, and we've done gustar. Okay? Now, the good news is things get a little bit easier. So, by that I mean the verbs we are going to introduce today follow a set pattern. So, by learning that pattern, we can conjugate hundreds of verbs. Okay? So once we know the pattern, it will open up a world of verbs. We are going to talk about today AR AR verbs. There are three types of verbs in Spanish. There's AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. We're starting simply with AR verbs today. Okay? They're called AR verbs because all of these will end in AR. ER verbs, all of them end in ER. IR verbs, all of them end in IR. The second number for our code for today's video is a 3. Now, AR verbs. Process. So, I kind of like to break things down mathematically. Step 1 is you drop the ending. And the ending, in this case, is always going to be AR. So if we have the verb hablar, you're going to drop the AR, and you're just left with HABL. And we'll get to the next step is to find your subject. Okay? The subject controls the verb. Okay? It determines, sorry, that should be a T. It determines what form the verb takes. So, third step is you add a new ending. So, for AR verbs, the endings are O, as, a, amos, ice, and on. If you'll notice, 6 endings fit back to our T chart. So these will match our subject pronouns. So you have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. So, you'll notice these both fit onto the T chart. So, let's try a couple examples. Third number for the code, by the way, is a 5. Now, so if we want to do some examples, I'll scroll up and try. There we go, give me a little room. Mis amigos, blank, and we'll use the verb hablar, con el maestro. My friends, blank, with the teacher. So the verb is to talk. So if we take step 1, we take off the AR, you're left with HABL. Step 2, find your subject. Subject is mis amigos. So where would mis amigos fit on this chart? It's plural, so we know we're on the right side. And mis amigos would be a they. So they is bottom right. We look over to the AR verb chart. Bottom right is AN. So mis amigos hablan con el maestro. Wow, wasn't sure I'd get all this done in one page. But if we look back, it's a pretty good step-by-step explanation of AR verb conjugation. The fourth number of our code for this video is a 7. So, what you need to know, like I said, subject pronoun chart, you got to be able to change that. Just something to kind of help out. If your subject is not human, you always have to use the third person, this bottom one. Okay, so that's a good one to know. Bottom one here or bottom one here. Follow the steps, drop the ending, find your subject, and then put on the new ending. So mis amigos is a they, ellos hablan. Simple as that. We'll do some in-class practice and get you guys up and running. Thanks. Have a good evening.